Hi, I'm Greg Kielback with the Byron Forest Preserve District, and we're going to do a little walking around here at the Colman Dells properties. The Colman Dells property follows Hull Creek, starting at the Severson Dells Forest Preserve of Winnebago County, going through the Natural Land Institute's property, which you see behind me here, and then going downstream to the Byron Forest Preserve District's Colman Dell property. So it's 3 different agencies, 1 landscape scale ecological sector. And one of the greatest parts about being a part of the management of this size of a complex is being able to see things change at such a true landscape level. The bird populations and plant diversity is incredible here. Down in the bottomlands by the creek, there are bluebells in bloom, there is some anemone, spring beauties are still flowering out here. The buttercups that you see here are the yellow. And years past, I've taken us all on the hike on the nature preserve of the hillside. And this year, with what's going on, we're gonna do it a little different. And the next time you see us, we're gonna be on the creek looking at the dells themselves. Working its way through the cobble of the limestone, finding the easiest path. If you pan the camera, you can see the ledges and the dells themselves of the ancient limestone that Hull Creek is carving its way through. You're looking at a landscape that predates the Wisconsin epoch of glaciation. It's our own little driftless area right here in our backyards. Growing on the ledges, all sorts of different species of ferns, the bulbet ferns, purple grape ferns. There are just an incredible amount of species that love to grow on the different aspects at Colman Dells. Here's one that maybe is kind of annoying to us, that it sticks to us like Velcro, the Bedstraw. And here's one of the Starry Solomon seals growing out here out of the dells as well. Some small trout lilies getting started. One of the very first things that come up, even through the snow, is skunk cabbage. It's big, tropical looking leaves. You probably are more familiar with the red horn, which is the flower that will actually mitochondrial wiggle its way through the snow, breaking dormancy early to collect the early spring sunshine, and then by the time the canopy has closed with leaves, this will have already sort of gotten enough food to start putting the energy into making the flower for next year. This beautiful woodland flower is known as phlox, and one of the ways that I've always been able to remember it versus its counterpart, Dame's rocket, which is a non-native, kind of invasive species that looks beautiful by our houses, is to remember that phlox have 1, 2, 3, 4 phlox sepals. So the purple that you see, if you can count 5, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 phlox. One of the most interesting things about the Colman Dells property is that it was just sort of missed in time. So we find plants that are relics from a time ago, like this guy. This is a baneberry, or a doll's eyes. It gets a really pretty white berry on it. And this would be a plant that maybe you'd see very frequently Hayward, Wisconsin, that area, much farther north than this island population that it sort of exists in, and these little pockets that were just, like I said earlier, missed by glaciation. Some other plants that we're finding here are the golden glow and sweet Sicily, which is the one that gives you that really nice aroma of black licorice when you're walking through the woods. Your bloody nose trilliums, growing at the base of a basswood tree. This is a plant, blue cohosh. Gets a really pretty purple fruit on the end of these kind of blandish green flowers. Neat plant, pretty plant. Dodecatheon meadia, the shooting star, growing within a whole bunch of the wild lettuce, the blue lettuce, as well as hepatica, which is this liver-shaped leaf here. Its flowers are kind of past their prime now, and then there's a huge wave of trout lily going down the slope that we're standing on. It's really amazing out here. These plants that look like little chipmunk umbrellas are known as May apples. If you lift up one of the ones that has multiple umbrellas, you can see the small fruiting body on this one. Here's one that has a bigger one. Here's what the actual May apple, where it gets its name. They like to grow in kind of these dry upland areas like this. They're actually all one plant. It's a clonal species. Another thing that we're walking through a lot here is Pennsylvania sedge, which is a good indicator species of non-disturbance. So when we're looking at the health of the landscape, sometimes it's the smallest, less obvious plant that actually tells us the most. One of the main highlights of any woodland walk this time of year is the Virginia bluebell, growing often in large clumps.